Hey, welcome to another episode of The Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. Before we get into the segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dole would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment. So if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. Any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. My name is Robert Brown with The Rob Report. Let's get into it. Well, welcome to another episode of The Rob Report. I am your humble host, Bob TV. And already we have people going back to sleep. Oh yeah, you guys danced all in the street in celebration of Joe Biden's winning against Trump. And I guess getting rid of Trump is a celebration, but what you replaced him with is not such so. Joe Biden is one of the biggest warmongers, war hawks in Congress. He have led the charge against war for some of the dumbest reasons. Now that he's president, he's playing war matchmaker. We're going to get into this a little bit because you got to understand, and I kind of feel sorry for some of you people who have children. There's a great chance that your child will end up going to war. And there's a great chance that your child, once he go to war, he won't come back. Not sure. Joe Biden's son, Bo, was, in the military. And he went to war. Where in that war, nobody knows. Kind of highly doubt that the president or vice president's son was going to be in the back ends. He wasn't going to be on the front lines. Probably would have been somewhere being strategizing. But God rest his soul, Bo died. I know what it's like to lose a son. I don't understand how somebody would set their children up to go to war. Now, you need a military, don't you? Don't you dare forget it. You need a military to protect the country. But to send these guys off to protect what we call American interests, and a lot of times it's not really American interests or the American resolve or the Americana or whatever you want to call it, American exceptionalism. That's what George W. Bush called it. Sending them out there to fight these wars that has nothing to do with the fabric of America and freedom is ridiculous. Now, I told you guys at the beginning of the year that Joe Biden, they want Joe Biden to win. The Democrats are going to push Joe Biden to the moon, and the Republicans love Joe Biden. They got a long tenure together. They have a long-lasting love relationship with one another. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, listen to Lindsey Graham himself. Talk about his love relationship with Joe Biden.
Let me ask you, because Lindsey Graham now, who you've worked with, who was a friend, who I know there's video of him saying, oh, you are the nicest person he's ever met. You're the greatest man.
If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, then it's probably you got a problem. You need to do some self-evaluation, because what's not to like? He is as good a man as God ever created. He said some of the most incredibly heartfelt things that anybody could ever say to me. He's the nicest person I think I've ever met in politics.
Now, you just heard Lindsey Graham say, Joe Biden's a good guy. He's one of the nicest guys in the world, and he's been so good to me. This is Republican, thorn in the flesh, Lindsey Graham, South Carolina Lindsey Graham. This is the South Carolina bigot racist himself saying this about Joe Biden. But you got to understand, he can easily say that with Joe Biden because him and Joe Biden go way back. Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden go way back. Most of these people have done great deals, exciting deals, celebratory deals with Joe Biden. Things that lean mostly to the right. Joe Biden giving them majority of the policies that they push, not the policies that most Democrats push. And if it is a Democratic Party, it's a right-leaning Democratic Party position that Joe Biden was pushing. That's going to cater to the right-wing side of the Democratic Party. Yes, there's a right-wing side of the Democratic Party. I mean, it's funny. He's talking about, and look, you never know. People change. People do change. People do 180 degree. Some people do 90. Some people do 180. And maybe Joe Biden's a change. But look, I'm of the philosophy that you don't pick that. If you know that snake bit you the first time, why are you going to pick up that snake again? Guess what he's going to do again? Bite you. He's not going to be your friend and say, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Here's a gift from me. Let's make it up. Let's have some dinner tonight. None of that crap. All these Republicans wanted Joe Biden over Trump. See, Trump is a thorn in their flesh. They can't control Trump. They're scared of Trump. They're scared of Trump base. They say, even to this day now, Trump is not the president of the United States. He's former president. He's a private citizen now. He's golfing away in Mar-a-Lago. Don't care. Lindsey Graham and all these guys still scared of Trump. But they love them some Joe Biden. Let me go back and listen to what he said. What he said about this bigot, this bold, brash bigot, Joe Biden. Oh, he can't be no bigot. Look at the black guy he hugging. Man, get out of here. That don't mean he ain't no bigot. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place, stab you right in the back. Smiling in your face. Man, Joe Biden was bright boying Obama all day long. You know what I mean by bright boy? If you don't know what I mean by bright boy, look it up. I did a YouTube on Joe Biden, bright boy, no Obama. In other words, he did what Calvin Candy did concerning the Django. That 1 million or 1,000 exceptional Negro. And that's the way he saw Barack Obama. Let's listen to what he said again.
He said some of the most incredibly heartfelt things that anybody could ever say to me.
This Negro about to cry. I'm just a kid. Joe Biden just mentioning Joe Biden. Shut up, man. You want to know why you and him was good friends and why y'all clicked? Because both of y'all are bigots. He said, Rob, you just throw that around. No, I only throw that around at the people who deserve it. Joe Biden and Lindsey Graham have come together in holy matrimony to push bigot policies. That's why they jail. That's why they get along. Look at him.
He's the nicest person I think I've ever met in politics.
He's the nicest person he ever met in politics. He's the nicest. So for you people who think Bernie Sanders is all that, not according to Lindsey Graham. Joe Biden's nicest. Why? Because he's a bigot like me. I'm a bigot. He's a bigot. We don't want people to know it, but man, he's a great bigot. I love him. Me and him see eye to eye when it comes to bigotry and racism, and we'll do things together in the beauty of bigotry and try to, use our political power muscle in the pen to oppress black people. And because that's why I love him so. Look, I'm just trying to figure out how he can get black people to side with him, knowing that he's a bigot. I know black people are forgiving people. God dog, boy, you gonna forgive that son of a gun? That one who haven't even mentioned anything about overturning the crime bill? Now, in his love for Joe Biden, he was elated to know Joe Biden won the election, and Kamala Harris. He's worked with Kamala Harris in the Senate, and he could pretty much deal with her. Matter of fact, you could probably see him fist bumping Kamala Harris on the Senate floor. I think that was him. It was him or either Rand Paul. Bigots. And their black handlers. Well, here's him. Here is he talking about Donald Trump and his efforts to thwart the election, or his effort to try to overrun the election, when everybody under the sun told Donald Trump, even his own judges, it ain't gonna happen, Captain. You ain't got enough evidence. This is what Lindsey Graham had to say about the election results and trying to fight it. This is 11 minutes long, but it's a C-SPAN, so fair use. You mumbling dumb idiots at Google. Fair use.
Many times my state has been the problem. I love it. It's where I want to die, but no time soon. Tim and I have a good relationship. I love Tim Scott. 1876, South Carolina, Louisiana, and
Now, before we go any further, understand this, that Joe Biden was banking on winning South Carolina. You're like, y'all ain't heard from American people till you get to South Carolina. Bernie, shut up, sit down. You won here, there, Buttigieg, both of y'all don't know what's about to happen. I'm just going to sit here and look stupid, but behind the scenes, I'm crafting something. I got Jim Clyburn out there, the Negro whisperer, as my boy Tim Black would say, the snake charmer, the Negro snake charmer, them put all the black people in the days that they all was going to vote for Joe Biden, but there was a problem. Kamala Harris was in the way, and there was a split. And if Kamala Harris didn't get out the race, or either was going to be Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, both of them couldn't have won. It would have split the vote. Bernie Sanders would end up winning South Carolina, and that's something they're not going to bow. They're not going to do that. For God's sake, a socialist? Man, we capitalists. We got to keep this in capitalist hand. So they struck a deal. That's why she dropped out. She had no way forward in the race. Number one, her popularity started going down after Tulsi Gabbard took her head off with the truth about her record. Then the simple fact that Hillary Clinton donors decided not to support her, decided to first the gay guy, Pete Booty. Now look here. It's we did all that muscle in South Carolina, still was going to lose it. Like, we were actually going to win South Carolina. Well, let me keep going.
in Florida sent two slate of electors. They had two governments, by the way, and we didn't know what to do. Why did South Carolina, Florida, and Louisiana do it? To hold the country hostage to end Reconstruction. It worked. The commission was 8-7. It didn't work. Nobody accepted it. The way it ended is when Hayes did a deal with these three states. You give me the electors, I'll kick the Union Army out. The rest is history.
And that's why I said, when it comes to impeaching Trump and convicting him, you can get the votes. You just got to make some deals.
Led to Jim Crow. If you're looking for historical guidance, this is not the one to pick. If you're looking for a way to convince people there was no fraud, having a commission chosen by Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and John Roberts is not going to get you to where you want to go. It ain't going to work. So it's not going to do any good. It's going to delay, and it gives credibility to a dark chapter of our history.
Now, again, this is all about Trump trying to overturn their elections when none of this stuff started to go in his favor, even though he talked to his people like, there's a change here, there's an opening here, there's something we could do here, and there's, a blessing came from here and there and up your underwear and all that kind of stuff, but none of it was true.
That's why I'm not with you. But I will fight to my death for you. You're able to object. You're not doing anything wrong. Other people have objected. I just think it's a uniquely bad idea.
Now, look, and Trump was not in the wrong for objecting election or, not conceding. You got a right to say, look, I ain't no way in God's green earth that Mr. Winning. We're going to win so much I'm a puke. Lost to old losing Joe. I mean, Joe couldn't even get people to come to a rally, let alone, to play Pacino or something. Joe Biden? Y'all trying to tell me I lost to Joe Biden?
To delay this election. Trump and I, we've had a hell of a journey. I hate it being this way. Oh my God, I hate it. From my point of view, he's been a consequential president. But today, first thing you'll see. All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough. I've tried to be helpful. But when the Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled 4-3 that they didn't violate the Constitution of Wisconsin, I agree with the 3, but I accept the 4. If Al Gore can accept 5-4, he's not president. I can accept Wisconsin 4-3. Pennsylvania, it went to the Second Circuit. So much for all the judges being in Trump's pocket. They said, no, you're wrong. I accept the Pennsylvania Second Circuit that Trump's lawsuit wasn't right. Georgia, they said the Secretary of State took the law in his own hands.
Now, look here. All of this is a setup for him to do something that Trump just knew Lindsey wasn't going to do. Trump supporters knew Lindsey going to do. You got to understand, Trump and Trump supporters, everybody in this world is individuals. There's no such thing as a loyalist to a man. You might be loyalist to your country, but even if your country haven't been loyal to you, you still don't have a right to be loyal to your country. Honestly speaking, the only person you should owe loyalty to is the one who made you. This country did not make you. Donald Trump or Obama. You got Obama loyalists. You got Trump loyalists. All these men are all these men are human flesh. They pee and poop just like you. They don't do anything special. Y'all just glorying and gloat over these two people like they're messiahs. Lindsey Graham could not stand Obama, and Lindsey Graham could not stand Trump, but he would pretend to act like he liked Trump because he needed something that Trump had, and that was that base. He was only going to use Trump, but I told you, majority of all these Republicans, the only reason they don't turn on Trump is because they fear Trump base, and because that's an aggressive base. Bernie Sanders' base should have been not as aggressive to the point that you're going to do violence and insurrection type deals, breaking and entering and all that kind. But you should still be aggressive enough to put the fear of God in the hearts of these politicians. On that, I applaud that base for being so radical that they could put the fear in the hearts of these people being replaced, not murdered, not stalked, not being offices being broken into. That is not right. But to put the fear on him that you're going to be out of office, I better not catch you on the street. No, I'm not going to hit you, but I'm going to shout you out and shame you. I better not catch you eating a biscuit at Cracker Barrel, because I'm going to crack on you in Cracker Barrel and make sure I go live on Facebook. And Trump supporters are upset, and they wanted to get rid of, called him a turncoat and a backstabber, and wanted to get rid of this man for these simple words right here.
He would lose. He won. He's the legitimate president of the United States. I cannot convince people, certain groups, by my words, but I will tell you by my actions.
Now understand this. This is him telling everybody that, look, I can't convince you. I don't see how you're not convinced. You listen to this Q thing, or you're listening to Trump, and you show no proof, no evidence. You're sitting up here listening to Giuliani. When I've seen the evidence, we've all seen the evidence. The court's seen the evidence. Most of these people are court-appointed judges from Trump. Also, so all these people are supposed to be just refute the facts and the evidence and still push Trump into the office. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? But let's keep going. All of these people seen the evidence. There were not enough concrete evidence to prove that this thing was rigged overwhelmingly. Now look, there's always rigging. There's always cheating. You usually start off in the primaries and reach out to the general. It always happened. And yes, I can say that there probably were some tampering, but not to the point where this whole election can get overturned. I mean, come on.
Maybe I, above all others in this body, need to say this. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are lawfully elected and will become the president and the vice president of the United States on January the 20th.
Now, I know this ticked people off. Because here I hear people talking about, oh, he's a turncoat. Oh, he turned his back on Trump. Oh, Lindsey Graham have no spine and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. Lindsey Graham ain't never been, he's another bigot, racist, pathological, kissing John McCain was his lover. Oh, he couldn't do it. That was his boy to the death, you know, and let me tell you something. These people go a long way. Keep telling everybody again. White supremacy runs both parties. Bigots run both of these parties. The problem is you never see the real true white supremacists because they stay on the low. There are people like Lindsey Graham. There's people like Joe Biden. They're going to do whatever they can to hide their white sheets, so to speak, in their hood. They put on a suit and they legislate bigot legislation. Crime bill, one of the biggest one. Lindsey Graham thought great of the crime bill. And here he is, he's saying, look, enough is enough. This dude won. This dude and this lady won. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won the election. And you can't get mad at anybody because even the judges say this thing was not rigged to the level where it can mean you overthrow an election. Everybody hate Lindsey Graham on the MAGA side. That MAGA hate Lindsey Graham. Q hates Lindsey Graham because Lindsey Graham didn't side with the president as if he's supposed to side with the president. He don't work for the freaking president. He worked for his constituents. And even if his constituents told him to side with the president, he had to be a man of honor if he got any ounce of honor and dignity on the inside of him. I don't care if you find it behind his fingernails, get it some. Now, don't get me wrong, especially black people. Lindsey Graham is not your friend. He don't like you. He ain't gonna lay his life down on the line for you. He ain't gonna do nothing for you. Never did, never will. And so is the other black South Carolina Senator Scott and the other black South Carolina Senator James Clyburn. South Carolina, my brother lives in South Carolina. I can tell you about most of the places in the South in the Bible Belt. They're mostly still racist, bigoted countries, racist, bigoted states, and their politicians are mostly racist and bigots. And you probably find some black here and there, but guess what? They're just blackface. They're racist and bigots being fueled and pushed by white racist and bigot rich donors. But the man said, look, I don't care what you say. They won. They won. And I know I'm still baffled. How can Donald Trump, Mr. Win, the one with the strong support, how did he win against these two people? There's a host of things that cause him to lose. And we're going to go into it one day with dumb RNC mistakes. Now, with that being said, what Lindsey Graham just basically said, look, I ain't got time for this stuff. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris they won the election fairly. I'm not going to participate in this bullcrap that, this was robbed, this is fraud, and we need to get together and overturn this election. Now, if you want to impeach him for something like that, I mean, you better bring it, because I feel like I'm not on board for that. But these people could have came in and killed you, dude. Yeah, but I'm not on the board that. You're not on board because you're scared of Trump base. Now, you did this, you might well keep going, Lindsey. Well, see, this is something Lindsey wanted. Lindsey wanted a relationship like this. He wanted a relationship where the conservatives can go back to moderatism with Democrats. That right-leaning Democrats and left-leaning conservatives, which really not left or right at all, they're really centered politicians, come back together. And that is the politics that has held this country back, because it's going back to the mundane, same old, same old. I just read an article that Joe Biden did executive order to bring Obamacare back. He should have did an executive order for Medicare for all. Get rid of Obamacare. It's done. It's dead. Medicare for all, for everybody. But now these two birds are merging to be one gigantic united clown. These two wings on the same bird will come together to form a united clown. We're about to go on a clown show, and I'm going to show you what I mean. What Lindsey Graham and other Republicans needed was a Democratic Republican. They would rather take a Democratic Republican over a extreme right, populist Republican. These guys go way back. They've been friends for the longest time. And now they're going to work together to form one government. One government, and they're going to expect you to be loyal to this one government. It's light fascism. Everybody want to talk about Trump being a fascist. Well, here we go with fascism. When the merging of a government become one, the two-party system become one party, pretty much centric, middle of the road, lame, no game politicians all come together for one common cause, and that's to lift up the military complex, lift up the medical industrial complex, lift up the big pharma, lift up Wall Street, lift up everybody but you. Case in point, this guy right here. This guy will be our second Secretary of State. Blinken takes over at the State Department, vowing to rebuild diplomatic ranks. Now you got to understand who Blinken is. Let me go into a little more detail. Biden chooses Anthony Blinken, defender of global alliance, as Secretary of State. The president-elect is also expected to name James Sullivan, another close aide of his, as National Security Advisor, and Linda Thomas Greenfield, a 35-year Foreign Service veteran, as his ambassador at the UN. Anthony J. Blinken, a defender of global alliance. No, he's not a defender of global alliance. He's a war hawk. He is a warmonger. He's not as war hungry as John Bolton, but he's like a John Bolton Jr. President-elect Joseph R. Biden Jr.'s closest foreign policy advisors is expected to be nominated for Secretary of State. Again, President-elect Joseph R. Biden Jr.'s closest foreign policy advisor is expected to be nominated for Secretary of State, a job in which he will try to coalesce skeptical international partners into a new competition with China, according to the people close to the process. Mr. Blinken, 58, a former deputy secretary of state under President Barack Obama. In other words, he was the assistant of Hillary Clinton. His extensive foreign policy credentials are expected to help calm American diplomats and global leaders alike after 4 years of Trump administration ricocheting strategies and national swagger. Now, this is one thing I can say about Trump. When it came to foreign policy, we wasn't on the edge of our toes with Trump. And you got to admit that when it came to foreign policy, we wasn't on the edge of Trump. Maybe with trade policies, we might have been on the edge with Trump. But when it came to foreign policies, we had nothing where we were on the edge when it came to Trump. Trump was not trying to elevate 5-6 more wars. Trump was trying his best to calm the quails of North Korea. Y'all got mad because he became friends with, June, whatever name, Kim. Yet he had a friendship with Kim that we had no problem out of Kim. Name me the problem that we had of Kim the whole 4 years of Donald Trump. There was no threats. Yeah, but he was still trying to beef up his military, trying to beef up his arsenal. He can do that. That man run his own country. Who are we to tell somebody what to do with their own freaking country? Man, we'll cuss somebody out if they try to tell us what to do with our military. Cuss them out, probably slap them. Probably call them traitor, un-American. Hush your mouth there, boy. We had no real major problem with Trump foreign policy. Now, the problem I had was him doing these business deals with Saudi Arabia, kissing the butt of Saudi Arabia, when he was the man that said, look, Saudi Arabia, I need to put my foot in their behind because they don't want to cause 9/11. What happened to that, Trumpy? Trumpy didn't try to get rid of Assad, even though the people who coming on board, they're going to do whatever they can to get rid of Assad. So what can this dude do when he get back in office? He can mess things up, foul things up, and have us in war again. Mr. Biden is also expected to name another close aide, Jake Sullivan, as National Security Advisor. Now he got another warmongering bigot as a National Security Advisor. According to a person familiar with the process, Mr. Sullivan, 43, succeeded Mr. Blinken as Vice President Biden's National Security Advisor and served as head of policy planning at the State Department under Hillary Clinton. So we're getting Hillary Clinton's people. We're getting Hillary Clinton's, what would have been Hillary Clinton's cabinet. Why? Because these are the people who serve Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. Joe Biden is putting these people in office. He's building a warmongering cabinet, a cabinet that's going to bring us to war. Mr. Sullivan, 43, succeeded Mr. Blinken as Vice President Biden National Security Advisor and served as the head of policy planning at State Department under Hillary Clinton, becoming her closest strategic advisor. So this guy was Hillary Clinton's closest strategic advisor. Together, Mr. Blinken and Mr. Sullivan, good friends with the common worldview, have become Mr. Biden's brain trust and often his voice on foreign policy matters. So we got these two warmongering bigots that don't like brown people in the Middle East, that love the drone strike program that killed innocent people under the Obama administration. These guys going to be in charge of foreign policies. Now, you know me, guys. I always try to tell you my truth. I'm going to tell you the truth that we didn't have these issues. There's a lot of issues we had with Trump, but this was not one of them. Name me how many people you know got killed in war since Obama left office. Can you remember somebody? I know some got killed. Don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid, but it wasn't huge numbers. They're Mr. Biden's brain trust and often his voice on foreign policy matters. And they led the attack on President Trump as use of America first as a guiding principle, saying it only isolates the United States and create opportunity and vacuums for its adversary. I think we should focus on building America. This Buy Back America, Build Better America policy that Joe Biden got is the same thing as Trump's American First. I believe our tax dollars that we work hard for should go to taking care of the citizens of America first. It shouldn't be going to Israel. It should not be going to the Middle East or nowhere until after we take care of what's going on here. I'm a fan of being a giver and being a blessing to other nations and things like that after you make sure this nation is taken care of. We still got people in poverty. We still got people dealing with homelessness. We still got people dealing with COVID. We got people trying to pay their bills. You know, it's just still a whole bunch of mess. These guys are going to be put in place to shoot down the American First ideology, which the whole main foundation of America First in the Trump administration is we're going to focus on bringing jobs back to this country. We're going to focus on making American-made products, and we're going to focus on making sure that these people pay for our products, where our citizens can have a good, decent pay. Now, that's what it was supposed to be. At least that's what we were told. Now, whether Trump was going to do that or not, you don't know what that liar going to do, because he's liar, pants on fire. But the bottom line is that was the premises of the American First. It's no different from Build Back America, Buy America. All Joe Biden did was took Trump plan, copy and pasted, and made it for himself. It's like a rapper biting somebody's beats and making another diss song. Same beat, same beat. Roxanne, Shantae, all of them. Mr. Biden plans to announce their selection even as Mr. Trump continues his ineffectual push to overturn the election. A growing number of Republicans are calling on Mr. Trump to concede at the beginning of the official transition process. Now, we've already been there. Now, this was dated way back in, don't even have the date up here, November 22nd. Now, the bottom line is this. Now, this has come to pass. This guy just sat with Lindsey Graham to be interviewed for the position of Secretary of State. And Lindsey Graham, you could have sworn Lindsey Graham fell in love with this man. Why? Because Lindsey Graham is a warmonger. He lusts for war, just like his friend, the late, never great John McCain. Baran. John McCain, that guy. His lust. He has a lust for war. Joe Biden has a lust for war. These two guys that he's hiring has a lust for war. He just hired. He just hired a Raytheon board member as the Secretary of Defense. Black brother. I'm proud of the brother. He's black. First black man to be the Secretary. I'm proud of him. But he is a Raytheon board member, which means his goal is to bring profits to Raytheon, just like Dick Cheney's goal was to bring profits to Blackwater. You putting these capitalists, these corporatists in these high positions of power, these capitalists, corporatists, militarists, warmongers in these positions of power, and it doesn't spell peace. It spells war. But listen to this love.
Quickly go around the world and try to get a 30,000-foot view of where we start this new administration. Do you still consider Iran the largest state sponsor of terrorism?
I do.
Okay. Do you consider Israel a racist nation?
How do you consider Iran a state-sponsored What evidence do we have that Iran is producing terrorists? Pakistan, our ally, supposed to be, was holding Saddam Hussein in a bunker in a compound for almost over a year. But we still trying to focus on Iran as the country, or the world leading state-sponsored terrorist state.
No, I do not.
Okay, that's a good start. Afghanistan. Do you agree that I agree totally with Senator Shaheen that if we abandon the Afghan women who fought so hard to have a say about the future of their children, it will affect our children's future. Do you agree with that?
I do.
And do you trust the Taliban to police Al-Qaeda and ISIS regarding attacking?
You guys ever been on a speed date? I mean, you go, it's a bunch of guys, it's a bunch of good-looking women, man, and everybody got their information out, and everybody in a line, and you sit at the table. It's like musical chairs. You get up, go to the next table. You get up, go to the next table, and you might find that one that clicks with you, one that makes you laugh, one that makes you smile, one that makes you feel warm on the inside. Well, that's what this is. This ain't nothing but a high-profile speed date between two bigot warmongers, Blinken and Lindsey Graham. Both friends of Joe Biden. Joe Biden brought them together. Joe Biden playing the matchmaker for warmongers.
In America.
Trust is not a word that I would apply.
No, that's right. I agree with you. Observe it. What would you tell the people in a caravan coming toward America?
I would say do not come.
Yeah, I think that's a good message.
Talk about
Some people on the left.
Oh, boy, yeah, I'm telling you. I keep telling you, Joe Biden is not a Democrat. He's a Republican. And y'all will find out slowly but surely. He's putting on the mask right now, but he's really a Republican. He just picked a conservative Democrat that's a warmonger to run the State Department. Shades of Hillary Clinton.
Left have been saying that we should
shades of Hillary Clinton and shades of Madeleine Albright.
Criminalize entry into the country. Do you agree with that?
Not my jurisdiction, but I disagree.
Okay, all right. China is a problem, multiple layer problem. Russia's up to no good. There's two groups out there that I worry the most about. I think if the Iranians had a nuclear weapon, they would use it. I think the Ayatollah is a religious Nazi. Will you agree to at least talk to me and Senator Mendez about an alternative to the JCPOA when it comes to Iran?
I welcome talking to both of you and members of this committee about the way forward on Iran.
Okay. And finally, this is the 20th anniversary of 9/11. September this year will be 20 years. I think they're going to remind us that they're still out there. Do you agree with me that the worst thing America could do is have a false sense of security when it comes to radical Islam? Do you agree with the following proposition? The only reason they haven't killed more of us is they can't find a way to do it, and we pretty much kept our foot on their throat.
I share your concerns about the ongoing threat posed by what's left of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, other extremist groups that target the United States.
We're on a good start here.
Yeah, boy. That's Lindsey Graham right there. The whole time of this meeting, this guy was answering the questions perfectly. I found my lady. I found my man. That's what Lindsey Graham said. That guy's my guy. See, this is why I don't mind Joe Biden being president, because he know how to pick them. He know how to pick my type of people. Oh, yeah, he know how to pick, boy. He picks the best. Man, get out of here. Look, folks. I told you, I hate to say I told you so, that when Joe Biden become president, he's going to move to the right. He's not going to move to the left. His cabinet for defense is not a left cabinet, it's a right cabinet. And it's an extreme right cabinet, or I like to say extreme centered right cabinet, All these guys are warmongers. All these guys worked in the defense industry. They profit off the defense industry. All these guys are not, these are guys, you're not going to have peace with these type of people running the government, especially when it comes to foreign relations and foreign affairs and trying to chop down our wars and chop down our troop deployments. You're not going to get them with these guys. You're going to get more war. You're going to get more of your sons and your daughters going out to fight wars that they have no clue what the heck they're fighting for. No clue. One thing I love about my brother is he always would tell, as a recruiter, he'll let them know this deep. You got to understand that there's reasons why you serve this country. There's reasons why you want to look at going into the military. It's a great career. Look, guys, I understand. Once you go, I was in the military. Once you go, you want to know what's your mission. You want to know what the purpose of your mission and how it's going to make you a better American and better soldier. And you got people that teach soldiers to look at it that way. I don't want to go out here and just risk my life killing people when it's all for naught. Let's keep going. I'm almost done. Now, recently, we had some people speak up about these picks. Here's what Madeleine Albright said. I'm thrilled. Here's warmonger-in-chief herself, Madeleine Albright, who thought nothing about the innocent kids that was getting killed in the drone strike programs. Yeah. Here's Anna Kaspera, the woman who Anna Kaspera gloats and drools over. Yeah, she wants to represent the left. Man, you represent a left hook and get out of here. I'm thrilled to congratulate Antony Blinken on becoming U.S. Secretary of State, the world's best job. The world's best job. I guess so if you're a bloodthirsty killing machine like yourself, you psycho. Secretary Blinken's wisdom, integrity, and compassion will be tremendous assets for America. I guess so if he goes the direction you think they should go in foreign policy, you psycho. We can count on him and his team. I bet you can count on him and his team to revitalize diplomacy and reinvigorate U.S. leadership. You mean you can count on him to drop so many bombs on people that we run out again? Revigorate what? Revigorate little machines going around shooting down and dropping bombs on innocent people? Madeleine Albright. And then here come over Hillary Clinton herself comes in. Congratulations to Antony Blinken for becoming America's 71st Secretary of State. He'll do an excellent job. My advice is don't even try to match Madeleine's brooch game. So she want to make a joke. Don't try. Madeleine Albright is the queen of brooches. Don't try to. Hold up. We talking about two psychopathic warmongers. One who just peed in her pants, wet her pants all kind of ways, and one of them ain't just pee. I'm talking had an orgasmic wet spell once you find out Gaddafi was murdered. Came, he saw, he died. You got these two psychopathic warmongers that thirst for blood, that wouldn't dare go to war and when it comes to predominantly white nations, but when it comes to everybody else but white, oh, they thirsting, drooling. Had to say something with her nutcase self. Now look, let's stop here because this is important. They had the confirmation and he was confirmed. He was confirmed 2 days ago. 78-22. 78-22. All right. You see some Republicans. Look at all these Republicans. that confirmed him. Graham definitely, you know you're going to have Graham down there. Gillibrand confirmed him. I expect Feinstein to confirm him. Lay confirmed him. Schumer confirmed him. Brother from Georgia, Warnock. Why in the hell are you confirming that man when that man is going to have more young black men and women out there on the forefront of dying in battle? Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, being in the military can be a good career if you do it right, but most of the time this government is not doing it right. You got people in the government that's doing it right, but some of these people don't even care. Warnock. Elizabeth Warren. Let me see. Tim Kaine. Joe Manchin. Mark Rubio. Gillibrand. Hickenlooper. Sanders. Sanders independent voted for this guy. Y'all sitting up there getting, oh, he's so cute. Look at him with his mittens. Oh, they got him on here. They got him on the skit with Friday. They got him over here, Jungle Style and all that. All these cute memes of Bernie Sanders with the muffins. And this man just voted in a freaking warmonger for Secretary of State. I bet I hear nothing about no war coming out of his mouth. Because some of these wars are foolish wars. And he just endorsed this guy. He just supported him to become Secretary of State. Cory Booker. Look here, guys. We got to have more love. As Tim would say, we got to have more love. My girlfriend is Rosario Dawson. King, the other independent. Mitch McConnell, of course. Debbie Stabenow. Warner, Young, Sullivan. Look at all these people. Ossoff, the other one in Georgia, voted for this guy. Klobuchar voted for him. Duckworth voted for him. These are people who said no. Cruz. At least Cruz had the guts to say no. All these Republicans. We had more Republicans reject this pick for Secretary of State. This is a doggone shame. Bernie Sanders ought to be ashamed of himself. Warnock and Ossoff ought to be ashamed of themselves. Black people didn't vote you into office to send their kids to war. The whole point of this video is I wanted to reiterate that when you're in a position of power and you have leverage, you have to make your demands first. You want my vote, I need you to commit to these things. Now, verbally, on record, I need you to go out there and advocate for them. We're supposed to be, Joe Biden said he's the most progressive person that ever ran for office. You can't have a pro-war politician to claim to be progressive. Pro-war is not a progressive stance. Pro-peace is. When you're hiring people that work with Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State, knowing the kind of crappy mess we were going through, trying with the no-fly zone and Libya and killing Gaddafi, and then, trying to do the same thing over here in Syria, and then amping up the wars 2-3 times. And, you got Obama's guy. You put in office Obama's people. That is not rebuilding the Obama coalition. You put in office Hillary Clinton's people. You put in a bunch of warmongers. And then you got people on the left that loves it. We had more people on the right that said no to this pick than the Democrats, when it should have been mostly Democrats saying, no, we're not picking this guy. Especially after hearing him have that little romantic moment with Lindsey Graham. If this guy, man, look, I would have been all, nah, ain't no way. If this guy could make Lindsey Graham nipples get hard and make him moist, then I'm going the opposite direction. Anybody that could turn Lindsey Graham on should not be the Secretary of State.
Saying that we should decriminalize entry into the country. Do you agree with that?
Not my jurisdiction, but I disagree.
Okay. China is a problem, multiple layer problem. Russia's up to no good. There's two groups out there that I worry the most about. I think if the Iranians had a nuclear weapon, they would use it. I think the Ayatollah is a religious Nazi. Will you agree to at least talk to me and Senator Mendez about an alternative to the JCPOA when it comes to Iran?
I welcome talking to both of you and members of this committee about the way forward on Iran.
Okay. And finally, this is the 20th anniversary of 9/11. September this year will be 20 years. I think they're going to remind us that they're still out there. Do you agree with me that the worst thing America could do is have a false sense of security when it comes to radical Islam? Do you agree with the following proposition? The only reason they haven't killed more of us is they can't find a way to do it, and we pretty much kept our foot on.
ISIS, other extremist groups.
We're on a good start here. We're on a good start here.
Posed by what's left of Al-Qaeda,
One more time.
ISIS, other extremist groups that target the United States.
We're on a good start here.
Look, guys, I'm done. Look here. The bottom line is this. Look, this guy is also going to be targeting international or domestic groups. They're already labeling everybody under the sun terrorists. This just proves my point. Joe Biden has always been a moderate Republican, just like President Obama said. I'm a moderate Republican. I just happen to be in the Democratic Party.
The truth of the matter is that my policies are so mainstream that, you know, if I had said the same policies that I have back in the 1980s, I'd be considered a moderate Republican.
Joe Biden is a little more extreme Republican, not moderate, but a little more extreme Republican that happen to be in the Democratic Party. I told you at the beginning that most of these people, they don't want to see another Trump term. 4 years was enough. These Republicans don't want Trump. Most of them don't want Trump. They want Biden because Biden will bring them back to the consensus of us working together instead of shouting each other down. And working together, not for the good of the people, but for the bad of the people, for the hurt of the people. Getting nothing done for the people, but getting everything done for the United States and big corporate interests. Wall Street, Big Pharma, medical, defense, you name it. And now you're seeing it merge together. They're coming around Joe Biden. Joe Biden picked this phenomenal defense Secretary of Defense. He picks this phenomenal Secretary of State. He picks this phenomenal national security advisor. Phenomenal, Robert? Phenomenal for war hawks. If you're a war hawk and you love war and you like selling weapons and you like profiting off weapons and you're Northrop Grumman and you're Raytheon and all these war Boeing and all that, exceptional picks. Because now we know we about to make some money. We about to get paid now. We got some people who love war, want to overturn some governments, want to send the troops out to risk their lives, want to send some drones out and bomb people. We got these guys are back in town now. The boys are back in town. Just got new faces. Same ideology. John McCain's. Bomb, 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 Iran. Lindsey Graham almost had a moist fest just now, just because that guy said, I believe they're terrorists and we need to rein them in. Talked about a moist fest. You're going to see more of this. You're going to see that the more you look into the cabinet of Joe Biden, you're going to see the more of a lighter Republican version in some areas in a harder Republican version. You ain't gonna see this radical nut wing crazy stuff between Trump and his base. You're not gonna see that. But you're gonna see some smooth talking, moderate, down low, cool, nobody recognize bad stuff going between this particular cabinet and these people that sit in these positions in the military complex and the war machines and the Tony Stark weapon type companies that's trying to come up with a can of soda that can blow up half a block. You're gonna see this kind of crap going on in this administration. Now, don't get me wrong, Trump administration was a disaster. From Betsy DeBall to Linda McMahon, a disaster. But that was a disaster going nowhere. This is a disaster waiting to become more of a disaster. We don't have a cabinet of peace. This is a cabinet of war. And it's just going to get worse because when you got a warmonger for president and a warmonger Secretary of State and a warmonger Secretary of Defense and a warmonger National Security Advisor, guess what? If you got kids and you're not wealthy, start praying for your kids right now. Because they sure gonna do whatever they can to get them to join the military for these wars. I could see if you get them to join the military because it's a good career. If you use the military right, it's a good career for those who want to have a better living. Believe me, my brother is one. But my brother served in all these tour duties, man. I thank God that he's alive. And I love my brother. But even then, we got to get extra help because we've been through a war. And going through a war is traumatizing. Can't sleep at night sometimes. Somebody shoot guns for fireworks. It messes with you. Feel sad for some of these poor guys who just got in the military to make a good career, but going to war over some oil for, got to get that oil, got to get those resources over there, got to get those poppy seeds. Anyway, welcome back to Obama 2.0 and this war cabinet that Joe Biden matched and made up. I'm Rob Brown with the Rob Report. Bob TV is my name. I'll holler at you later. Peace.